Hey guys, it's Miss Stacy again. I've got your math game here that I promised yesterday. But before I get started, I want to give a little shout out to moms and dads and whoever is at home with these kiddos, working with them, reading with them, and doing all these wonderful things. You guys are the MVPs. I know I'm a parent too, so I'm in the same boat as you guys. I'm home trying to homeschool my own kids, and it's challenging. So, before we get started, I'm just going to explain the math game that we're going to do today. We need to have toilet paper rolls that are cut in half, and something to count. Like we chose pennies, just get a bunch of little things you can count. This game is going to target math skills like one-to-one correspondence, numeral recognition and identification, and number sense. I'm going to show you a few different ways to play depending on your child's understanding of these math concepts. So we're going to start with the easiest way to play, and for that we will need, 5 toilet paper rolls. I'm going to move this a little bit, maybe. Our first 5 toilet paper rolls will have 1 and 2 dots on them. This is going to be for the little kiddos that maybe understand or are starting to understand the concept of 1 and 2 and more. So what we're going to do with these kiddos is just going to have our pennies here, and you'll say, let's put 1 in, and here for the kiddos that are using tech, this is a symbol for in. While we're at it, let's do the sign for that too. In, we're going to put things in the toilet paper rolls as we count. So, you're going to have your little one. Check out the toilet paper rolls and see how many dots are on the front. So we'll count. Let's see. Put that one here. So we would count the first one, and you could say 1 dot. 1. Put 1 in. And then the next one, of course, has 2. You can model how to count 1, 2, and put in 1, 2. And you'll go on down the line with the rest that you've made. And this doesn't, excuse me, you can do, 10 of these if you want to, or however many you'd like, just to try to reinforce that concept of what is 1, what is 2, what does that mean, what does that look like? Because some of these kids have the language to say 1, 2, but do they understand what that means? That's another question. So that's what we're going to work on with the littlest ones. Let me go back to that real quick. Sorry, guys. When you are playing this game, I just ask that you model what you're doing. When you're counting, count out loud. If one of your kiddos is using AAC, here's the symbol for in, so we'll show that. And use the sign for in. Also, your kiddos are familiar with this sign already. So you can do it every time. You can say, okay, put 2 in, put 1 in. You know what I mean? So, that's how that's going to go with the little ones. Now, maybe your kiddo is having some trouble. Maybe they can't identify numbers yet. Maybe they need help with one-to-one correspondence, which is just basically saying this item has its own number. This item has its own number. So 1, 2, you know what I mean? So for those kiddos, we're just going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The easiest way to go here, because we don't want to overwhelm them. We're just going to start with the basic here. So, for these kiddos, we will Oh, sorry. Actually, no, I'm sorry. For this group, we're going to turn them around this way. We're going to have dots on here. This way, they have a model to understand what, the amount that the number looks like, if that makes sense. So we've got, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll have your kiddo get their pennies out, and you can say, okay, how many is this? Okay, let's count. It's 1. So we put 1 in. Maybe they know some of their numbers. This is a place where you could really flip these around either way, depending on the level and understanding that your child has with math. So of course they'll put 1, 2, and the 2, and on and on and on. 1, 2, 3, putting them in. In they go. So let's see here. For our next group of kiddos, these are maybe kiddos that do understand one-to-one correspondence, and they can identify numbers, maybe 1 through 10. We're just going to do the same thing again, except this time we're going to turn these babies around, and we're going to actually use the numerals. So that way they can make connections with those numerals also. Okay. Also, I will say, for this group, I would recommend doing 1 through 10 because, to challenge them a bit. Sorry guys, let me get to sit up here. Yikes. Okay. So, we've got our 1 through 10, right? If you want to be super challenging with your kiddos, you can have them put the numbers in order too. That's a really good practice. Putting them in order from 1 to 10. So we will do the same thing like we did for the other two, except this time the children are going to look at the numerals, they're going to identify it, and they're going to likely understand what that number means and what the amount means. So they will go all the way up through 10, of course. You can go all the way up to 20 if you want. You could also probably figure out a way to make it a 2-player game, which could be really fun too, because if you have siblings, they can kind of entertain each other for a little bit. So to play this as a 2-player game, I think that we could make some number cards, see who can fill up their tubes the fastest, anything like that. Let's see. I don't know, guys. I think that's pretty much what I've got. It's very, very basic and very simple, but it's going to work on those math skills that are essential to understand before we get to kindergarten. So, if you have any questions or comments or anything else, comment below and I will answer you. Thank you, guys. See you later. Love you. Bye.